Welcome back everybody, my name is Pip, I'm a Baby ARMY and my channel is about me discovering more about BTS. So today's video is something a little bit different and is essentially a celebration of me reaching 1,000 subscribers here. Thank you, all of you, for getting me to that point, first of all. Second of all, less important, I feel so weird without any headphones on. I feel so weird. I thought I would do a video explaining how I became ARMY. I don't know if I'm different to other reactors, but I considered myself ARMY before I started this channel. Baby ARMY. Very tiny fetus ARMY, but did consider myself ARMY. A couple of people right at the beginning of me starting the channel requested that I do a video like this. I did record one, but I was really unhappy with it and I'm doing it again. So what I plan to do in this video is I've gone teacher mode because it is the only way I know how to explain things. So there is a PowerPoint. I've made it look nice and everything, so it's better than the PowerPoints I used to have when I was teaching. I'm gonna very briefly explain my journey to becoming ARMY, and then I asked on my YouTube community posts whether anybody had any questions about either how I became ARMY or my ARMY journey so far. The second half of this video, the bigger part of this video, is probably going to be that Q&A. And as always, thank you very much to everybody that engaged with that post and gave me questions. I did also post it on Patreon and I got a few questions over there as well, so thank you to Patreon people too. But I think we should just get into it. I made PowerPoint slides. This is me talking about how I became ARMY with some clues on this first hit. So yeah, for anybody that hasn't seen any of my other videos, I am a K-pop Demon Hunters ARMY. Anybody else out there a K-pop Demon Hunters ARMY? I find it so funny that now there are Hot Ones ARMYs. I'm just like, finally, I'm not one of the like last types of ARMYs. there's a new type of ARMY now. So yeah, I watched the film because it was absolutely everywhere. So I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I was aware of it and I was just like, that kind of seems like a kid's film, which I watch a lot of kids films, don't get me wrong, but I was kind of like, it kind of looks like a trendy kids film. I'm not gonna like it. I don't like K-pop. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it. And then it was just absolutely everywhere. And I think I started seeing clips of it. You know what I think it probably was? And this says a lot about me. I think I saw the clip of Zoe with the popcorn eyes. I'll put that here for your viewing pleasure if you have not seen it. I saw that and I'm like, maybe this might be my kind of film. There's like a little bit of vest for the abs in there, so maybe I might like it. So I watched it, absolutely loved it. Was like, I should have watched this way sooner. And then I've watched it a couple of times since then. Introduced one of my friends to it who watched it with her toddler daughter, who also loved it and was dancing to all the songs. So just call me an influencer, you know. But the way that this kind of linked me to K-pop, because I was like, okay, good film, but didn't immediately make me want to go and listen to K-pop, except for the songs from the film. I listened to those a lot. But I read somewhere that the characters, both the female and the male K-pop group characters, were kind of like loosely based on actual K-pop idols. I'm aware some of them are like big amalgamations of all sorts of different people, but there were links there to sort of real K-pop idols. So you can see the example there I've got is of Baby and Sugar. So this is one that I saw a lot, particularly with like the colour of his hair, kind of his mannerisms, and the fact that he's the rapper. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm intrigued. And I went and looked into like who everybody was. And I saw some people saying that Jinu was Jungkook. I thought that initially. I was like, oh yeah. But now I'm like, no, he's not. I can see other idols that he's probably based on. But that did introduce me very briefly to Jungkook at that point. But then it kind of passed. Then it was kind of from that point I did start exploring K-pop because I was listening to the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack a lot. And it's not very long. So then I was kind of like, I want more music like this. And then my Spotify had like a K-pop playlist on there and I was like, okay, let's listen to that. Started adding some songs on there. You can see some examples that I've got on the slide there. So you can see I've got my K-pop Demon Hunters song on there. But I've got Blackpink and I never know how to say it. Is it N-hyphen? Oh, I hear some people saying N-hyphen. There are more than this. I was just like, I just wanted like a snapshot. These are the first songs that I added and you can see the dynamite in there. I usually say, and we'll come on to it later, I usually say that it's my universe that got me into BTS, which I think is correct, but I had already heard Dynamite way back, whenever it came out. Okay, so it came out on the 21st of August 2020. I will have definitely heard it then. It was middle of a lockdown, I think, in the UK. I didn't have much to do other than work and be online. So I definitely heard it. And I don't remember my like exact thoughts. I think I probably thought along the lines of, that's a good pop song, but that's too poppy. Which you've no idea how ridiculous that statement is now. I love pop music and I always have. I was just in some sort of mood where I was like, no pop for me, no thank you. So I heard it, moved on, probably listened to it a couple of times. I was like, too poppy, nah. But I remember looking through this K-pop playlist that I mentioned, and I remember seeing Dynamite, and I was like, you know what, let's try it again now that I'm in this kind of frame of mind. And I was like, okay, this is actually good. And I was talking absolute shit before. I didn't know what I was talking about in 2020. Who did? So I added it to this list, but it was in the mix with tons and tons of other K-pop songs. These songs were just added to like my liked list on Spotify. First song added on the 27th of August 2025, but then I was like, okay, this is getting to be a lot of K-pop songs on my liked list. Let's just create a whole new playlist. You can see on that picture that 3 out of the 4 on the little collage thing are BTS. So you've got J-Hope and then 2 BTS songs. So it was starting already at this point. So I would say that I really decided to make an effort to listen to as much BTS as I could when I came across some of Jungkook's songs from his album Golden, and when I heard My Universe, which is the song BTS did with Coldplay. That's why I like pinpoint these two things as like, this is probably the start of my ARMY journey, the very, very, very start. When I didn't even know I was ARMY yet. So I know that the first song that I heard from Jungkook was Standing Next to You. Like, I know for a fact it was, and I watched the music video at that point because I like use the desktop version of Spotify on my PC, and I could see there was a, it tells you there's a music video, and it, it was showing clips from the music video, and I was like, I like the look of that video. I'm gonna watch it. So I probably watched it for the first time through Spotify rather than YouTube, I'm gonna be honest. So I heard the song, I absolutely loved it. It's got like a ton of funk type sounds in it, and I like anything with funk in it. So I really love the song, but I'm not gonna lie, Jungkook's visuals did a lot for me getting into his music more. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't think anybody is gonna disagree with me when I say that Jungkook is a very attractive man. Like, are we just gonna ignore the elephant in the room? Come on now, look at it. Look at him there. Look at him there. I think there was 2 specific visual things in that music video that I was like, oh, we are listening to more of your music. It's the outfit where he's dancing with all the dancers and he's got a waistcoat on but with nothing underneath it. And I am a fan of a waistcoat, and then you take away the shirt. But there's also that like the tiniest, shortest little shot of him with big black wings on. And I don't know, there's just something about that shot. Does anybody agree with me? Please tell me somebody agrees with me. And I've never watched the behind the scenes of that music video, and I need to, because I am just hoping that there's more of the wings. Before My Universe, I heard 7, and I watched the video of that as well. Straight after 7, I added My Universe by Coldplay. This song, before I even listened to it, I saw that it was on a playlist, and I was like, Coldplay has done a song with BTS. Okay, I'm not like a Coldplay fan or anything. I was around when Coldplay first started. I don't know how big they were in the US or the rest of the world, but they were huge in the UK. So they're very well respected. It's not always my kind of music. I tend to like their music where they lean a little bit more poppy. So I think that was why I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'll like this then. I wasn't aware of BTS's game at this point. Just remember that. I was like, they're pop and I like pop now. So yeah, that was kind of like what really made me pay attention. Because to be honest, it was the caliber of Coldplay and then wanting to collab with BTS. Like, I was like, there has to be something there for that collaboration to have happened. So then we have the Canon ARMY event. Does everybody experience this? I feel like they do. Right, this is so niche, but when people talk about Canon events, it always reminds me of the Canon event that is in the book series A Court of Thorns and Roses. And the Canon event involves one of the characters in the first book that I'm not going to spoil, but you think one way about them, and then in the second book you're like, whoa, Well, and it's like a canon event. It's like it happens to everybody, I think. Please let me know in the comments if this was like your canon ARMY event. You wanted to learn what their names were. It's like all I wanted was to know what their names were and who they were. That's all I wanted. I was still like, I'm gonna listen to all sorts of K-pop. I just would like to know what their names are specifically. And I think, as we all know, anybody who has had this canon ARMY event, you know that the rest is just history. Once you get invested enough to learn what their names are, it's kind of over, you know? I've also said in the past that these particular images of Jungkook I'd already seen like standing next to you, but like this was like a different kind of visual. So like while I'm learning the names, I'm just sort of like casually looking up pictures of Jungkook, and then I find these. So I'm trying to go very briefly over these things, but I do know that some of the questions that people have asked me will ask me in more detail about some of this stuff, so that's why I'm going quite quickly. So I would say at this point I'm still not like feeling like ARMY. I'm aware of who ARMY are, and I'm like, I'm just like, I just like the music and, you know, very attractive men. Like, I'm at that kind of point, you know, until I see that there is a second season of Are You Sure coming out on Disney Plus. So I had not watched the first season, didn't even know it existed, but because I'm kind of engaging more in BTS content, I see that this is announced, and I see that Jungkook is in it with Jimin. Kind of going back in time a little bit, I was aware of who Jimin was way before I even started listening to their music, but it's for a really unfortunate reason. It's because of, and I hate to say his name, I feel like you probably know where I'm going with this. I used to watch a lot of commentary channels on YouTube and like drama channels just for like something to watch while I'm eating my dinner, you know. Somebody had done a video about Ollie London, and I'm not going to explain it. I feel like if you're ARMY, you're aware of who Ollie London is. If you're not, say in the comments and I'm sure somebody will explain it. Or just look up Ollie London and Jimin. I saw that he was on this with Jungkook, and I'm like, okay. My main reason for watching Are You Sure was because Jungkook was on it, and it was new and it looked fun. So I bought Disney Plus especially to watch this. You can see how I'm getting there. You can see how I'm getting towards being ARMY at this point. I bought Disney Plus only for Are You Sure. I should have known then, really. And I thought, right, I'll buy it and I can watch season 1 before it comes out. I don't think I'd watched it all by the time the second season came out. I was probably like halfway through, and I was already like, this is amazing. I love this. We don't get things like this, I don't think, in Western media. There's just something different about the way that they create their shows. I like getting to know the two of them more. And then in season 1, Tae joins, and I remember thinking, I don't really know who you are. Like, I know your name, but I don't know who you are as a person. And then like getting to know a bit more what he was like in that. I had definitely started watching season 2 of Are You Sure shortly after it came out, I think, and then took a bit of a break. And then unfortunately my cat passed away in December of last year. He was like, if you've ever heard anybody refer to like a cat being your soul cat, he was my soul cat. His full name was Calcifer. He was named after Calcifer in Howl's Moving Castle, but we called him Cal. It was traumatic for me to go through. It was sudden and it wasn't expected. He wasn't ill or anything like that. I got to the point with the grief of that, of being like, I need something that is light and happy and safe to watch. I'm not going to get upset watching it. There's no chance that anything bad's going to happen in it. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to finish Are You Sure season 2. And you know what? It genuinely helped me so much. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be. It was happy, it was safe, it was comforting, and was just the best thing that I could have watched at that point. Another thing that I watched during this time was, I don't think it was the actual live of Yoongi with Tang. I think I watched Hype Boy's video that he did, sort of translating everything. And I've put a picture on there of my lovely Calcifer on the left, and then you can see Tang. I watched Yoongi with Tang, and I bawled my eyes out the whole time. Mostly because I missed my little black cat, but also just seeing him happy with his cat was just like, I don't know. Anybody who has a cat, I feel like watching that live was just, I don't know how to explain it. It was just the best thing I could have watched at the time that I watched it. Even though it upset me and I cried, it was almost like cathartic. Somebody has asked me a question about, did BTS find you when you really needed them? So this is not the first time that I experienced this, but I think this is one of the times. To me, this series was like a turning point for me. This was like me discovering they've got all of these other series that I could watch. They've got all of this content that I could watch. And I really felt like the things that I was seeing that they had, I was like, these look like safe things to watch. These look comforting. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but BTS to me are like my comfort thing. I can rely on them to be there when I need comfort. The last thing on my PowerPoint before we get onto the Q&A is when I knew I was ARMY, I had to kind of think about this. This wasn't like a thing where it happened and I was like, okay, I'm ARMY now. But it was more, I had to look back and think, I know I'm ARMY now, but I know I wasn't always. So like, what was the turning point? And I realised I can distinctly remember thinking when I was first sort of looking into the music and I was looking at stuff about them on social media and people talking about being OT7. And I remember thinking, how do people like every single one of them equally? Because I knew that I liked Jungkook. I knew about the terminology of having a bias. And I was like, well, obviously he's my bias. But then I was like, but how do people like all 7 of them? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I think I talked about this in my very first video on my YouTube channel, which is me reacting to Bora City's Skeptic's Guide. I remember liking boy bands and being like, well, that one's my favourite and I don't really care if those other people are there. And I didn't feel like that about BTS, but I was like them all equally. Like, how? Until I realised I did like them all equally. And now I'm like, how could you not like them all equally? Like, I find myself in my mind going, do I really like them all equally? And I'll go through them and I'm like, yeah, I do. And I like them all for different reasons. There's never a time where I'm thinking, God, I wish that person wasn't there. Like, oh my God, God forbid. Or why don't we get more content about this member? I'm never thinking that. I'm like, oh my God, we've got content for this member and we've got content for this member. And I'm just happy to have all of it. So yeah, I think that was the point when I maybe didn't know it at the time, but I think that was when I became ARMY. And I think when I realised that, when I realised I was ARMY and I realised that there was so much content and I just wanted to explore it all, I also realised nobody in my life likes BTS. Nobody I know has ever mentioned them, I don't think. And I was like, I'm really sad that I don't have anybody to talk to about them. It just felt painful in a way to be like, I love this thing so much and I have nobody to talk to about it. I talked to my partner about them. He's very patient. He's not ARMY. He's very kind and he's very patient and he listens. Bless him, he listens. He listens. He went to one of the live viewings in the cinema with me and he had a good time, but he's not ARMY. And that's fine. And I think at this point I'd started watching other reactors to kind of get that feeling of like a shared experience of watching them. So I watched a lot of Nico's channel, What You Got to Say. To me, there's something about just watching somebody else's joy for BTS. It almost filled that gap of having somebody to talk to about it. But I was like, it's still not quite the same. I'd always wanted to try and have a YouTube channel. And I thought, what if I did my own reaction channel? Literally all I wanted was to talk to other ARMY about BTS and I wanted to watch all the content, and I just thought, what better way than to start a reaction channel? And I thought absolutely nothing would come of it. I thought like 2 people would watch my videos. I didn't think I'd get any comments, but I thought this feels like something I should try if this is what I want. And then I uploaded my first video and it did really well, and I had like 80 comments the morning after I uploaded it, and I was like, what? And like the rest is history, and I'm so happy I get to speak to you all about BTS. It's honestly one of the best things I've ever done, so thank you. I don't know how to express my thanks properly. I'm very youngy like that. I'm not good at expressing my emotions, really. Q&A time. So yeah, I wrote down all of the questions that people asked me. I don't think they're in any particular order, but I'm hoping that this works all right and it's not too like all over the place. So first question, what is your favourite thing about BTS? Do I have to just pick one? I'm having to think really hard because there is more than one thing. You know what? I would say my favourite thing about them is how they are unapologetically themselves at all times. Yeah, I want to sneak in another one. Can I sneak in another one? I don't know who I'm asking for permission. It's my video. Another one, which I think is kind of related to the first one, is I really love how much they care for each other and they genuinely support each other and just take any opportunity to give the other members like compliments, you know, like raise the others up before they raise themselves up, if that makes sense. They're my favourite 2 things about BTS. If I asked anybody that, would you be able to just pick one? Second question, what are my favourite BTS songs? So I will stick to BTS songs. I won't go into solo stuff. Now, the way that I am going to cheat this question is I'm going to pick Arirang songs and some other songs as well, because then I get to pick more. So my favourite songs on Arirang, they've stayed quite consistent, I would say. I know a lot of people go like backwards and forwards and they have different songs that they really like. Mine have stayed consistent. So I love Body to Body, Normal, Merry-Go-Round and Swim. But anybody who's either been on my Instagram or my TikTok, little plug there, I have Instagram and TikTok. Anybody who's been there knows I specifically like Sugar's remix of Swim. That is my thing. So they're my Arirang favourites. Favourites for others. Oh my god. Immediately as soon as I put this video out, it will almost become obsolete with the older songs because I'll probably listen to more and be like, this is my favourite now. But my current favourites, I love Butter, specifically the Hotter remix of Butter. Pied Piper, Deng. I like Telepathy. I like Look Here. Oh, and how could I forget? How could I forget? Bepsy. They're my favourite songs. Third question. Have I listened to any entire albums? You will know if you've been on my channel before. I've listened obviously to the entirety of Arirang. I have also listened to the entirety of Golden by Jungkook. And I think that is it. To sort of explain that a little bit more, I have never been a person to listen to whole albums. I've done it now and then in the past. So there is, I think there's a Green Day album that I listened to all the way through. But that was at a time where like I didn't really have money to buy albums. So we're going deep into the past here, but like it was when you couldn't stream music. It wasn't very accessible to stream music, I should say. So we're still buying CDs. It was like you had to buy physical media, but I also was at a point where if I wanted those things, I had to pay for them myself. I had a limited library of music, so at that point I listened to full albums just because I was limited on how much music I could actually listen to. But as a rule, I've always been a person that will listen to singles. Like I'm a singles person. Whatever people release as singles, that is what I listen to. All has changed now because of BTS, you'll be happy to know. I am now prepared to listen to every album that they have released in its entirety. I do plan to do reactions to full albums. I just have a very long list of things to do. But yeah, I'm going to start with their very first album. I'm going to try and do BTS albums and then I think I'll move on to solo albums. I'll do the BTS albums in chronological order. I'm not really a chronological order type person, but I think for listening to their albums, it makes the most sense. So next question, have I watched any of the films or the documentaries? I've obviously watched the most recent Netflix documentary. My reaction to that is over on my Patreon. I totally understand if you're not able to contribute over there to watch it, but if you are, that's where you can watch it if you would like to. I don't know if these would be included in there, but I've already said in this video that I've watched season 1 and 2 of Are You Sure? Some of my favourite things to watch, and I think it was because they were like my first things to watch. I've also watched the 3-part Jungkook one. Is it I Am Still? I plan to get to as much as I can access legitimately. I will try and put on either my YouTube or my Patreon. How did I forget this? Over on my, this is not supposed to be an advert for my Patreon, but it's just so that you know where you can find it if you want to see it. I am currently working my way through the BTS Monuments Beyond the Star documentary series over on my Patreon. Next question. How have friends, family, co-workers responded to me being ARMY? My family is extremely small. My parents don't know, and it's not that I don't want to tell them, it's just I don't think it will be much of a conversation. They'll be like, oh, you like BTS, okay. My partner obviously knows. My partner is the main person that I speak to, other than all you lovely people, obviously. But in real life, he's the main person that I speak to about BTS. He's probably the only one, actually. I've not actually asked him, but I kind of got the impression he was like, what is going on here? What are you obsessed with now? So he was just kind of initially, I think, was like, okay, this is the thing that she's obsessed with now. So anybody who has ADHD or has anybody with ADHD in their life, you know, you have frequent short-term obsessions. So I think he was just like, okay, this is the new thing. And then he realized, this isn't staying short-term. This is a whole thing. He's very supportive of anything that I want to do or that I want to get into. So he didn't understand it, but he makes an effort to support me with it. Like I've already said, he went to one of the live viewings with me, enjoyed it. He also Hold on. So he also, when I started my channel and it was going well and I was really enjoying it and getting into it, he bought me something to celebrate. He bought me this, which he informed me was very difficult to find. So yeah, that's the Dynamite Lego set, which I plan to do. If anybody would like me to record me doing that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do it and I'll take pictures of it when it's finished. But yeah, if you'd like to see me building that, happy to record it. Next question. Has anyone else fallen into the rabbit hole as a result of me being down there? Not yet. Like I say, my partner is supportive, but he is not ARMY. Although he enjoyed the live viewing that we went to see, so. And I am like the driver in our household. So the rule is, because I'm the driver, the music in the car is my music. And guess what my music is? He has taken a liking to the Hotter remix of Butter. I'm like, there's hope. There's hope. I find myself wanting to get other people into it. I find myself thinking, what is the song I could recommend to this person so that they get it, so that they understand? I fully intend to try and get other people into it, but not yet. What was the first song I heard from them? How did I come to hear it? So I kind of explained this earlier, but I can almost guarantee Dynamite would have been the first song that I ever heard, but that is not the song that got me into them. The song that got me into them is My Universe. So there's another question that somebody asked, which is, did my first exposure to BTS start my ARMY journey? If not, why? So yeah, my first exposure was Dynamite. I would imagine when it first came out, like I said, because it was everywhere. Again, like I said earlier, just thought it was too poppy and was like, no. Apparently I'm going to be that person at this time in my life where I refuse to listen to pop music. I think expanding on that a little bit, I definitely viewed them as a boy band and thought, I'm too old for boy bands. Like, why would I listen to a boy band now? Like, how old would I have been in 2020? 35, 36, something like that. I was like, nah, I'm too old for that. So it's all on me, not on BTS. I was the one with the problem, but I have since learned. So the next question is, did I get confused with members' faces, names, or Korean terminology? So I did in the beginning. I did the classic thing of trying to work out who they were based on hairstyles, because at one point they were very distinctive from one another because of their hairstyles. I'm sure we all know that that doesn't work because they have different hairstyles and colours in what feels like every music video. So that didn't work. I have a bit of an issue of not being able to recognise faces properly. Like, it takes me a very long time to learn the differences between people's faces, if you know, if that makes sense. So I definitely struggled with that. I couldn't tell you how I got past that other than I just watched more and more content and made a conscious effort to learn who everybody was. Names was confusing because they have multiple nicknames each. So I think probably the first names that I learned were like their official BTS name. So what I mean when I say that is that, like, I learned that Yoongi was Sugar, so he was Sugar, not Yoongi at that point. Namjoon was RM, but then I would hear people talking about Hobi and Namjoon and Yoongi, and I'm like, who are these people? But I think for the most part, I've got the nicknames down now. And V, obviously, how did I forget about V? V is the main one, because I was like, he's V, but he's Tae, but he's Taeyoung, or he's Tay. Like, Korean terminology. I think I was probably initially confused about things like Hyung and Maknae, but I'm one of those people that, like, if there's something that I don't understand or I've not seen before, I just Google it straight away and be like, okay. And then for some reason can retain that information. There's all sorts of terminology that comes up and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and have to go and look it up. Less confused than I used to be. But yeah, the beginning was very confused. So the next question is, how has my perspective on K-pop changed since becoming more knowledgeable? That's a difficult question because I would say I'm probably not more knowledgeable in K-pop. I'm more knowledgeable in BTS, which are not the same thing. I've learned a little bit more about K-pop actually starting to watch the Rise of Bangtan series, just because the first couple of episodes have got like a lot of information about how the K-pop industry works. I'm probably a little bit less judgmental about the K-pop industry having learned more. I still don't really agree with a lot of the things that they do, but that, like, as in a personal preference, not like a moral thing. I'm just like, that's not really my kind of way of creating music, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a hard hard one because I'm not more knowledgeable in K-pop necessarily. I'm just more knowledgeable about BTS. Next question is, what made me go beyond being just a casual listener? I was fully prepared to just be like, I'm just going to listen to the music and I'm going to add it in on my K-pop playlist and that's how it's gonna go. But then I realized that I would listen to my K-pop playlist and I would just be skipping until I got to BTS. I was like, oh no, and then I would realize I would stop on a BTS song and be like, okay, maybe we need a BTS playlist. So yeah, then I created a BTS playlist. When did I create that? I could probably find out. You know what's really funny about this is that I created my BTS playlist after I started my channel. So I created my BTS playlist on the 4th of February. And I think I started my channel something like, it was like the end of January. Maybe that's not when it changed. You know what? I think it was probably when I was prepared to pay for Disney Plus to watch Are You Sure? I was like, if I'm wanting to watch these TV programs, I'm not just a casual listener. I'm invested in them as people and I'm interested to see what they do as people. And then I was like, oh no, this is getting even more serious when I'm skipping through my K-pop playlist to get to BTS. That was just an escalation probably at that point. Next question. So somebody asked, how did I learn who was who? I can't really think how I actually managed it other than watching more content. How did I do that? You know, one thing that I think really helped, watching compilations and edits where people would do the subtitles with the little emojis and I would learn who the emojis were and then I could learn who they were. Did anybody else do it that way? I've just realized that's probably what I did. So there's one channel that I watched a lot of compilations of, so it's BTS ARMY. So I watched so many of their compilations and I think they indicate who's speaking in those. If they don't, other compilation creators definitely do, and I think that's how I did it. That and then just consuming more and more content. I think it got to the point where theirs was the only content I was watching. So just exposure. It's just exposure therapy. Next question. Why are Jungkook and Yoongi my bias line? Oh, now I could tell you a lot about this. I'm going to get the obvious out of the way. Visually, they are my type. I think every single member is one of the most attractive men in the world. The other 5 are constantly wrecking me, so I don't want anybody thinking that I'm not saying that about anybody else. Jungkook specifically, because he was my first exposure in a way to BTS in a roundabout way. It was initially like visually. The more I learned about him as a person and then watching Are You Sure, I realised that we're very similar. And then when I saw that he's got ADHD, I was like, that's why we're so similar. I've always thought of it in the way Jungkook is, the type of person that he is and the way that he behaves is who I would be if I hadn't been like held back from being who I truly am. So I think I feel the way that he feels about a lot of things, like the internal stuff, but I don't often outwardly behave the way that he does, but I think I would if I'd have been allowed to. So there's kind of like the similarities between us that I identify with. He's obviously extremely attractive, that helps. I like that he has tattoos and piercings. I have tattoos and piercings. He's got that kind of duality of, he's like, can go from like, oh, how do I, you know what I mean? But it's like, how can I explain it? So we can go from the Calvin Klein adverts to just something where he's being ridiculously cute with the huge eyes and his little bunny smile. And I'm just really drawn to people who have that kind of like duality, I think. Now, Yoongi, you know what? I don't think I paid much attention to Yoongi beyond, I like them all, but that was kind of where it was like, I like them all, but Jungkook is my bias. I can pinpoint when I was like, Yoongi. And it is the long blonde hair in the Dechita video. And to be honest, just that whole music video is so, I don't know, it like blew me away. The visuals of it and the storytelling in it, I was like, who is this person? He is silly. You get his 100% battery life now and then, but I would say for the most part, he's quite quiet, subdued. You see him in the background a lot of the times, just like letting the others enjoy themselves and like he's happy being there with them enjoying themselves. He never really stood out to me until he did. You know, like I've said it somewhere else before. It's almost like I chose Jungkook as my bias, but then Yoongi chose me. Like it was not voluntary at all. Visually, that kind of time when he was doing Dechita, Hegum. I always say amygdala, but it's amygdala, isn't it? I never know the right way to say it. But that kind of with the long hair and the kind of like mafia vibes, my type. But the more I learned about him as a person, so I saw the live with Tang and I was like, oh my God, he's a cat dad. He's a cat dad. Oh no, I'm in danger. I'm in danger. And then I saw that he'd done the work with supporting autistic children, and like I'm autistic myself, and I was like, oh, it's all starting to add up, and I'm like, no. While I think Jungkook is who I would be if I hadn't been held back from that at any point, I think I'm actually more like Yoongi. So like I do tend to be the person sort of sitting back and letting other people enjoy themselves. I do have like the occasional 100% battery life kind of thing where I just go like really hyperactive and I'm talking and talking and talking. You know, I do have that. He's quite reserved. I'm pretty reserved. He does share his feelings and his emotions. I don't think he wears them on his sleeve like other members do, and I'm very much like that. So yeah, I think for both of them I identify with them, but it's like in different ways. And I do think Yoongi also has that duality, definitely. For me, it's not as extreme as it is with Next question. Ooh, who is my current bias wrecker and why? Well, the other 5. I don't know what else to say. Question is why. That's the important bit, because again, it's for different reasons with all of them, I think. So I'll start with Jimin. Jimin, but not for a visual thing. Like, my God, gorgeous man, ethereal, fair, and that does get me sometimes. It really does, especially the long blonde hair and the Jimin Targaryen. Like, I'm discovering more and more how hilarious he is, like how funny he is, like naturally funny. That would be the reason for Jimin, I think. J-Hope for 2 different reasons. So first of all, and I think I only need to say one thing when I say this, is J. Reason 1, will not elaborate further. Reason 2, that he's just pure sunshine. And like, I don't think you meet many people like that. And I know he will have sad times and he won't be happy all of the time. But I do think he makes a conscious effort to be sunshine for other people. And his laugh is one of the best laughs I've ever heard in my life. And he's really easy to laugh as well. Like he's the first to laugh in most situations, and I feel like I am that person as well. Jin. I feel like 2 reasons again when the forehead's out. When the forehead's out. Purple hair Jin and Jin when the forehead's out. Jin feels like he would be like an incredibly safe person to be around. Somebody pointed out to me in one of my comments this time and I watched the clip of it afterwards, when Tae's wanting to like flip, is it like an omelette or something? He's wanting to flip it in a pan, and then Jungkook's like, oh, but what if you flip it and you drop it? And Jin's like, well, then he flips it and he drops it. Like, to me, that is such a safe person that you can make mistakes around him and he's fine with it. He creates a space where you can make mistakes without being punished for it. I cannot explain how important a thing that is, but also just absolutely hilarious as well. Hilarious in a different way to Jimin though. Along the same lines as J-Hope, Jin has one of the best laughs I've ever heard as well. This is such a long question because I couldn't just pick one, but it's all of them, honestly. Tae, again, visually, now and then, gets me, definitely. How could he not? How could any of them not? But I think for Tae, he is the sweetest man. Like, there are so many things that I've seen where I'm like, you are too sweet for this world. And I think, again, that's quite rare to be, like, unapologetically sweet like that. Last but by no means least, RM. RM is a contender for being my type, definitely. He's a big man. I like big built men. My partner is a big built man. Plus, he just has this, like, aura around him. He is a leader. I like that kind of energy. But like, aside from that kind of stuff, I like Jin. I love his sexy brain. I just like that he's like curious about the world and he wants to learn. And you know what? When he's doing lives and stuff and like ARMY will be like, you know, like, I don't want to be here, I'm really sad. So many of the things that he says in response to that are so meaningful to me, having been in that kind of frame of mind. They are all 7 of them, all my therapists, but I would say main therapist is RM, and that is one of the reasons why he wrecks me, definitely. All 5, and there are all the reasons. I bet you're so glad you asked. Next question. What about BTS has me invested in them? Oh, I think it's just them as people. Like, they're so engaging and you find yourself just wanting them to do well and to be happy. And I don't think I've ever felt that, or don't feel that very often for famous people. All 7 of them, I want them to be happy. I want them to do well. I will watch, listen, whatever, to anything that I can that they put out there. I don't know if it's a secondary reason, but it's like another reason is their music is just good and they work hard at it and they're constantly trying to sort of evolve their music and what they do. Like, they're always working to do better, and I think that helps me be invested in them as well. For the most part, it's just them as people keep me invested. Like, I care about them genuinely. Next question. How am I enjoying being ARMY? Are there any downsides? Are there things I've had to consider? I am thoroughly enjoying being ARMY. Sometimes, I'll be slightly vulnerable, I don't feel like I'm ARMY enough sometimes. And this is a me problem. I don't think anybody's ever made me feel like this, but I'm just like, oh, I don't know everything and I wasn't there from the beginning. Does anybody else get like this imposter syndrome with being ARMY? Like, I know I'm ARMY, but I don't feel ARMY enough. But overall, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And there is so much more for me to watch and to listen to, and I'm excited. It's going to take me a really long time to run out of BTS content. That is such a good feeling. Are there any downsides? I don't think there's any downsides with being ARMY, but I do struggle sometimes with a lot of the negativity. But I think that's about making sure that I'm in the right ARMY spaces. There's certain like subsets of ARMY that I'm like, no, don't really enjoy being there. So there's obviously like the people who say they're ARMY but they're not, and they're just saying really negative things. There's the shippers, and when I say the shippers, I mean the serious shippers, like the people who are convinced that there's relationships going on and are looking for evidence to back that up, you know, that kind of thing. I don't like that. A kind of like joke kind of downside is that like I can't keep up with everything. Like, my whole life is pretty much BTS. There are things that there's like hobbies I don't do anymore. Which is fine. This is how my brain works. I get like obsessed with things. Like, BTS is simultaneously my hyperfixation and a special interest. So like, it is all consuming. That's a joke downside. Like, I'm having a good time, you know? Other things I've had to consider. I think maybe I've had to be okay with having my views challenged, which I am always open to. Like, I've always been like that. Or I've always made a conscious effort to be responsive to being challenged. Like, I'm happy to have my opinion challenged in a constructive way, you know. In the first instance, I had to be willing to accept that like they're not necessarily K-pop and they're different. You know, things I thought about them weren't the truth, and like being challenged on things like that. I suppose that's something I've had to think about. I don't know if this quite fits in here. The question makes me think of this. I think I've had to like come to the realization that I never really let myself really get into a fandom before. Like, I have here and there, but they've been like socially acceptable fandoms. So like, I don't know, an example is like, I used to be, and I still am to a certain extent, but I used to be really into Game of Thrones and like the book series A Song of Ice and Fire, and I was like really into it. But it was at the time when the TV series was out and it was like everybody was into it. And I think I've had to come to the realization that I have to let myself engage with things that I'm interested in, even if nobody around me is interested in them, because like it brings so much joy. And yeah, I think I just realized I've never really let myself do that before. I think there's also something to be said of like predominantly women focused hobbies and interests tend to be looked down on by society quite a lot. I've just had to be like, you're interested in this thing, let yourself be interested in it and don't care what anybody else thinks. The joy it brings far outweighs any judgment that you'll get from anybody else. Next question is, how do my favourite songs match up to my music preferences before BTS? Somebody else asked, what kind of music did I listen to before discovering BTS? I'm one of those annoying people that like, I'm into most types of music to a certain extent. I'm like a grazer. But I would say the really significant types of music that I have been into, there was a point in time when I was very into EDM. It was like house, trance, that kind of stuff. But then I've also really been into metal music, rock music. So I'd say for like dance music, I'm very much into the type of music that was out kind of in the 90s, early 2000s. I like a lot of 70s and 80s rock. rock. So examples like I like AC/DC. I like David Bowie, if you can call that. It's not really rock. He was kind of one of those people that did all sorts of different things. But like I like David Bowie. I like quite a lot of like the hair metal. Is that what you call it? Hair metal? Yeah, hair metal or glam metal. Like Kiss, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Alice Cooper. But all of these things like at a surface level. The other time in my life when I was really obsessed with music, I was so into Green Day. I love Green Day so much. I also used to really like, they kind of called themselves love metal. So I used to really like the band Him. I had a massive crush on the lead singer from Him, which helps, I suppose. But they're one of the other groups where I listen to like full albums of their stuff. More recently, I just kind of listened to like a bit of everything. So I was listening to like Chappell Rowan, Sabrina Carpenter, just songs that I liked. I just used to listen to all sorts of random songs. Lady Gaga, actually. Lady Gaga is another one where I would listen to full albums. I loved Lady Gaga. But I think that's why it's such a departure from how I used to listen to music to now. I would say that like 98% of the music I listen to is BTS or like their solo stuff. And then the other 2% is just like I see a song on a TikTok and I'm like, oh, I quite like that. I'll listen to it for a bit and then it goes. So in terms of like my favourite BTS songs, I think from the ones that I've said in this video, you can kind of see that I like heavier music. Some of the like rap line songs. And then thinking about the Arirang ones, like Body to Body, Normal, they have like a heavier feel to them. If we get into like Jungkook's solo stuff, very poppy. I'm also somebody that really likes pop music, but it has to be like good pop music, not just any old pop, you know? Good pop music. My favourite BTS songs very much match up to a lot of the music that I liked before. I'm always open to any kind of music. I'm like one of those annoying people that's like, I listen to anything, but it's true, I do. I just like good music. I like music that makes me feel something, and that can be anything. Final question, and it covers something I've not covered in my ARMY story yet. Did I find BTS when I most needed them? Yes, I did. So I've talked about watching IU to help me work through some grief, but even before that, and still they helped me with this still. I've talked about having like a massive burnout and having to leave my last job. The burnout came from a very long line of horrible work related stuff that I went through. So not in the last job that I had, that was just the culmination of it, and I just couldn't work anymore. But I would say in the teaching job that I had, I experienced a lot of unpleasant things. The job itself, so I taught in a university, and the job itself is an extremely hard job. You frequently work every day of the week for multiple weeks at a time. You work nights, you work weekends, and it's difficult work. It's unforgiving work a lot of the time. Was happy to do it when I was able to do it, but I did experience bullying in that job and found it really difficult. So I've experienced bullying quite a lot across my lifetime. I'd never done anything about it before, but this time I was like, this is the time. You know what? If I've never stuck up for myself before, I'm going to stick up for myself now, you know? So I did a whole official like grievance procedure and things like that, and I lost. He hit me really hard. We're talking very serious depression, anxiety, really serious stuff. Felt absolutely awful. Got out of that situation, but was still left with quite a lot of, I would say, trauma from that job, to be honest. I still try and work through it now. It still affects me now. And I think that BTS, their music, came into my life when I needed something comforting to keep continuing to work through all of that stuff. I needed some form of escapism. I know escapism isn't always good, but sometimes it really helps to just not be in the frame of mind that you're in, you know? I fully support responsible escapism. The more that I saw of the members and how they were with each other and how kind and sweet and supportive they were of one another made me realise people can be kind to each other, you know? It is possible. And the way that they are with ARMY, the relationship between BTS and ARMY is unique, I would say, between an artist and its fandom. And being a part of ARMY has been comforting and cathartic as well. When I'm having a bit of a dip and I'm going over things that have happened, it's always BTS that I turn to. I obviously have my support system around me. I'm not saying that I go to BTS before my support system, but you know when you just need escapism, you need comfort, it's always BTS that I go to. I listen to the music, I go back and I watch IU for the umpteenth time, you know, because I'm saving all the other things so that we can watch them together. I know other people have said this, but it's not like me to say this on like a public platform, but I do think if I hadn't have had BTS to get into and all the content to watch, I do think maybe maybe I wouldn't be here. I'm ending it on quite a sad note there, but I hope that you take away from that it's not sad. I feel like they genuinely have saved me. It's a sad note, but a positive has come from it. I get to be here and do this. I hope you enjoyed me going through my journey to become ARMY. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Would love to do another one in the future. I don't know what it will be about. Slight plug, if you would like to support me, there's absolutely no pressure to do so. I have a Patreon where I do exclusive reactions and posts, but I do also post quite a lot over there for free as well. Always happy to have free members over there too. And I'm also posting more on Instagram now, and I've just created a TikTok if you'd like to come and see me over there for some short stuff. Not just me, I am short stuff. Short content. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video if you did indeed like the video. Subscribe if you would like to continue on with me on my journey to discover more BTS. And thank you very much for watching.